What I want to talk about today is really a hidden secret in the marketplace. Hello again, Ralph Hess here, a veteran of 40 years of helping customer wrestle with their ERP challenges and trying to find the right systems for their organization. What I want to talk about today is really a hidden secret in the marketplace. Many people, when they think about SAP, they think about it as billion-dollar organizations and above. They're big, heavy ERP implementations. You need teams of consultants. The projects take years and years to come to fruition and nonetheless achieve the outcomes that the organizations are looking for. So what that lower end of that market, I hesitate to say lower end when I'm talking about under $1 billion, they're really left with other solutions to be able to consider, whether they be Microsoft, Infor, NetSuite, Epicor. And so what people don't understand is that SAP has really changed over the last 4 or 5 years. What I want to talk about today is a little bit of that marketplace, some of the challenges they face, how SAP is approaching that market, the solution that's now available for those organizations, and surprisingly talk about some of the economics that are involved in that. With that, we hope to help you evaluate your ERP position and solutions and your options in a more robust way to achieve a final and lasting outcome for what you're looking for. So let's go back in time. Let's go back in time 50 years, in fact. ERP didn't even exist, and 5 software engineers left IBM and created this thing called SAP. And as you look at the category of ERP, it did not exist 50 years ago. Believe it or not, I was around for the start of that. I was very young, but I was around for the start of it. So let's just fast forward, go 20 years, and the likes of General Motors, General Electric, the large oil companies, large banks, et cetera, were really excited about this suite of applications from SAP that helped automate every aspect of their business. Fast forward another 20 years to maybe 10 years ago, and SAP became even more prevalent, a very broad global company with a very robust set of functionality that really could address each and every aspect of a prospect's business. Now, all while that was going on, smaller companies have been facing the same challenges as the larger companies. People would be leaving those larger companies and landing at the smaller companies and expecting the same type of capabilities. And so really, as you look at that market, let's talk about the $100 million to $1 billion market. They were really having different solutions offered there. So they were smaller, lighter weight, perhaps more limited in functionality. And that was fine for customers. Their businesses weren't that sophisticated as the large Fortune 1000 or Fortune 5000. And they were happy enough to be able to do their accounting, keep track of their inventory, process sales orders in an efficient way. And so the likes of Infor and Microsoft and, the 3 different softwares that Microsoft bought to create the Dynamics suite of products. Those were, let's call them, good enough. Frankly, they were really good for a lot of what people were trying to accomplish. But as we look at the last 10 years, much of the complexity that the larger enterprises have had to deal with have now been pushed down lower in the supply chain. And so as you look at it, the companies that are 100 million to $1 billion are now facing the same challenges as the large enterprise. Now they have global supply chains. Now they have international currencies. Now they have tariffs, which is one of the latest challenges, right? And so as we look at that, the tier 2 solutions, the NetSuites, the Infors, the Epicors, they've been adding add-on solutions, going out and acquiring things like, AI, for instance, acquiring rather than building from scratch, acquiring CRM solutions, acquiring supply chain solutions, and integrating them into their solutions to try to meet the demands. SAP has taken a different approach to that. What they have done is they have refactored, and yes, that means in some cases rewritten, a lot of what the large enterprise has been using, and they have now packaged that up into a consumable product for that $100 million to $1 billion business. The name of the product is SAP Cloud ERP. It's part of SAP's business suite, which we'll cover in another video. But understand that what you're getting with that solution is 95% of the functionality of what the large enterprises use. Now, it doesn't mean you need to configure all of it. It doesn't mean you need to be as complex. What is reassuring for our customers is that capability is there. They can be nimble as the higher ends and each end of their supply chain places more demands on them. They already have the arrows in their quiver to be able to solve those problems. They just need to configure them and deploy them. Not buy more software, but configure and deploy. And so what SAP has done is really created an application platform that services the entire breadth of the organization. It's interconnected. I like to call it almost an application fabric rather than even a suite of applications, which of course in other videos you've heard me talk about. Data and applications is your foundational element for achieving your AI outcomes. That's absolutely true. Let's talk about the fact that SAP is actually embedded. They didn't buy and add on AI. They have taken their R&D dollars and focused a bunch of it and developed it from the ground up, embedded it in their applications so that they are AI ready, not AI add-on, but AI ready, embedded to be able to take advantage of the rich treasure trove of data that their applications are generating. So when we really look at the difference in the marketplace, people will say, oh, SAP is too big for me. SAP is not too big for you. What if I could tell you that for your $250 million manufacturing company, you could have a recurring cost of $150,000 for your software, that your implementation could be done for $750,000 to $800,000. You would be up and live in 10 months. Doesn't that sound a lot more like the story that Infor, Microsoft, Epicor are all telling you? So as you're looking at your ERP consideration and your journey and trying to achieve those outcomes, you need to actually consider what SAP can bring to the table. Get rid of the fear of the stories of what you hear at the country club of, somebody had a bad experience with SAP. That's the SAP of yesteryear. The SAP of today is nimble, consumable, able to leverage to be able to achieve not just your business outcomes, but also able to dip your toe really into the AI journey as well. So if you happen to be one of those organizations that I've described, you're 100 million to $1 billion, you're starting an ERP evaluation, you're finding your systems just aren't achieving what you want. Perhaps you have an AI project that you're starting to consider. Don't consider that without thinking about the foundation first. Please call us. We have over 25 years of helping companies like yours achieve the outcomes that they're looking for. It's all about the business, not about the technology. You can find us in the link below.